Hey beautiful humanity, welcome to Sayuna with Pleiadian Soul Messages. So how are you doing? I hope everybody is fine. I myself felt a quite intense full moon and after full moon energies. And of course, because the influx of love light, a new purification, deeper purification is happening. But also, I think for myself, but of course for myself, but also for many others, we are in the process of really deeply shifting through our belongings, cleansing any possessions, not to possess anything, and no possessions within our bodily system or belongings. Now, and we're shifting and we're cleansing and we go through all the clutter, and it is a shifting process of things we do no longer need, are not beneficial, or hold us down, weight us down, like it is so heavy, and it's for some reason very important to be completely free and available and present in the here and now, so without all of these distractions. And you know very well that it makes more peaceful and better concentration and focus when the area around you, your environment, at least your own home, is free of clutter. And also for stuck energy and energy stagnation, and every drawer, in your closets, behind, underneath, everywhere to cleanse is a very good idea, alright? Now, for many, we are also saying goodbye to almost everything we've known. So it is only a short goodbye to those we are connected with. The beautiful human beings, of course, which are vibrating on another frequency, and we feel we need to move on to align on our frequency, and it doesn't mix at the moment. So then you can have conflict, or as I heard from several other friends and clients, like there's no speaking, or it's quite challenging. So for many, they are also leaving certain relations and connections at the moment, until they also catch up and are ready to embrace these higher frequencies. And the truth that many are still do not feel ready to accept. And of course, many of these horrors and lies and everything that is being done against humanity is so cruel and so hard to process. Nah, it's not a wonder that many are disconnecting and distracting and closing off. Anyways, as we said before, this is not the time anymore to distract. You need to be fully ready and present and leave as much things that you need to do at the moment, but then leave the rest, what you don't need, to be ready to, for example, when you need a connection or when there's a movement, because also many are moving and locational moving also. As I said and saw before, that there is this beautiful twin flame reunion and soul family reunion, and it is remembering the members of the family. No, it is like you're coming together and you will more and more closely work together, but also become more a collective consciousness, which is different than the collective consciousness at the moment. As in the collective consciousness at the moment still are so many serving self. They are not serving the collective consciously with the highest of love and joy and freedom and respectful intentions. So now your soul families and of course twin flames are coming together and are starting to work together in the most harmonious frequencies of collective consciousness in service for divine and in service for others, for divine life and humanity. So it is a beautiful thing going on, but it is very hard, again, to go through this process because all these emotions come through, all the memories, and it's so much letting go. So for myself, I was also grieving, and it's quite hard. But know that if you have seemingly separations, temporary separations with loved ones, this is only short-lived. This is only short experience because we are in such an immense speedening of everything. Everything is going so quick, like with the speed of light. And again, it's a blessing it doesn't go with the speed of love, because that's instant manifestation. That's faster than you can even think. So, with the speed of light, everything is morphing and changing. So we want to talk again about these beautiful, beautiful, amazing record keepers, which were those beautiful trees, which you can now see everywhere in the world. And I say everywhere in the world, those tree trunks from. Now, if you look good at the tree trunks at the top, you see all these hexagons or these beehive shapes, and also the more complex beehive shapes. I forgot the name. If you know geometry, then probably you will know or sacred geometry, you will know the word, but it's more multi-dimensional hive shape from the beehive. Well, of course, the bees normally prefer to make their hive into a bee trunk, and the tree itself also have cells and cones in the form of those hives, those hexagon shapes. So it's very interesting because, of course, it is the best use of space. But both bee and tree creating these geometry is quite interesting, their connection also. Because they're both here resonating on a very high field of vibration, high vibrational field. And they're both working in a collective group consciousness. Now, about the cutting of those trees, of course, this was a very devastating event, and not only after these trees were cut and then the information was dispersed about to the trees all around, but they made even a tradition out of cutting the oldest trees, and they've cut all the sequoia, the redwood trees, all these beautiful ancient old pine trees, especially spruce pine trees, which are very sacred, and they are record keepers. So if you look within these trees, you see this circular design, which many say it is showing how many years old the tree is. But if you think about a record, your LP, you also have these lines, and then when you put the needle on it to play your songs, you see that the needle goes over these patterns, the circular patterns, and then the tunes are played. Well, my intuition and feeling and information is the same, that the trees were playing actually these sounds. They make these verses, harmonic universal sounds, and kept the harmony from the entire universe within their vibrations onto the earth in the Ìnnernet. It was an Ìnnernet. Ìnnernet. Within each living being on the planet. And which does not include, of course, anything that's created in an artificial way, or so unnaturally, not created by the highest of love in service for everyone. If you are in service to self, it's becoming very, very difficult to be embodied and go through all these changes. This is really a time where service to self is not supported any longer. Now, if you are reconnecting to this beautiful web all around us, you will see that the same when you cut off a limb for whatever reason, because you had, how you call it, sepsis, the blood poisoning, or you lost a leg in the army, in the war, or for any reason at all, then many people still have those phantom feelings, the feeling that something is itching, like the leg is still there. And of course it's still there, because it's not just the physical leg, you have also the etheric leg and many bodily systems around, enveloping the physical body. So the etheric body, for example, is still there. And the same with these trees. They're not gone. Yes, the physical tree is cut off. And yes, the information, because they are the record keepers, these are literally records with the entire frequencies of the universe. But they are spread around. The information is still here for every one of us available, but only, and again, only become available again when humanity chooses to serve the divine love, divine will, and the service to others. When the collective of humanity chooses to serve others, we will come online on the inner web, and the Ìnnernet, not web. The entire spider creation and many insects are not even divine creation. And you can imagine, if you see something so beautiful as a caterpillar, it's just eating innocent leaves and then changes into a butterfly who takes the nectar. And then think about a spider who sucks the blood out of it and spin a web around it, imprison it, and suck the blood out of it. Then you can understand who would be the creator of such a thing. You see? So there have been many creators, actually. Creator beings or creator gods, which were huge, and could very well be that we as well were those creator gods. Or beings, of course, not really gods, but the word God is being used in so many ways. So if I refer to divine source of love, I always refer to the truest creator of our souls and the life, the divine life. And you can say it's God, but the word God is for me not anymore suitable for these meanings. And again, we need to go back to the language, because language has been manipulated in so many ways and misformed. So a lot of your words became, and verbs became, spells. It is a spelling, spells and curses. And it's so important to know what you are saying and to intend, but also attune your words and understand that how they sound is also the vibration. So, for example, that, and that. Now, maybe you write it a little bit different, but they all sound quite the same. And we don't need any one of those. So, for example, you say, I want that. Well, you could say, I want this. All right? Or I want thee. So It is in these times extra important to attune the vibration of your sound and of your words. The spoken words are so powerful. And no more harm, and no more unconsciously use them, or even worse, consciously use them in a way that is not supporting you. If you do, then you always can consciously bring them back into the highest of love. First of all, by being witness and present that they are. Yes, you take the responsibility spoken by you, but you take them back, transmute them. You ask to the highest of love to transmute them also and bring them in the highest of truth. And choose the highest words that you do want to use that are beneficial for all involved, everyone, every human being and all the beautiful divine life. So, and if it is true that there were created gods, then it could have been true that there are the seven sisters Pleiadian or the Hatters. I'm going to show you something funny. I thought it was quite funny. I don't know if you can see it, but look, if I change this candle a little bit. Yep. Let me see if I can make enough light for you. Now you see a picture coming, you see? And if this candle is like this, what does it look like? Or like this. Do you recognize it? Now, if you know that the trees and humanity are constantly in exchange, in connection, what we breathe in is what they breathe out. And what we breathe out is what they breathe in. But what are you doing now if you have something that looks like this picture? You breathe in what they usually breathe in. So something's getting reversed and out of harmony. And that can never be positive. That is not a joyful creation, and it's also making something happening in the brain, lack of oxygen in the brain, and it's kind of inducing a bit of mild coma state. Not coma, but losing a little bit of your consciousness, isn't it? And also at the same time, because you are getting used little by little by lack of oxygen, you do not notice all the spraying of gases in the air and the lack of oxygen all the time. But we told you we are moving into the ozone. Now people will say, of course, when you use ozone you die. But when you would breathe in all the time carbon dioxide, you would also die, right? But the trees thrive on it. And we thrive on the oxygen they breathe out, what is for them harmful. Or for example, when you pick some leaves or a branch from a tree, and then you could put some spit of your own on that tree branch. And then you could think, yeah, maybe I'll have bacteria or fungus that is bad for the tree. But your bacteria and fungi are always protecting the tree for their threats of bacteria and fungi. We're always helping each other. We're always in communication and we're always in a supportive network. You can't change that. I mean, this, if you are in divine alignment with and in harmony with the creation, if you're not per se, yeah, I'm struggling a bit to do this. Let me try to find, I'm not want to put on the harsh light. Well, doesn't matter. I'm just going back to the candle because this is about the message. But yes, you know, I'm not going to say the words per se, but you know where I was talking about when I made the example, right? Now, On her forehead there is this beautiful golden butterfly, and we're in the time for emerging from our cocoon space. And we will be ready, and when we are called, we are called, and everybody is asked to be completely in harmony with each other, just like the plants and the trees, and all of us are in this inner net weaved together in a supportive, co-creative web of abundance and health and joyful support. Because, for example, I'm helping people, I'm giving all my information, I'm using all my energy, and not one of the persons listening supports me. And then, yes, I have 3 persons who supported me, but 2 are my friends a longer time, and the other one has been a client giving extra, and also became a friend. But if 2 friends, for example, are always the ones supporting, then who is supporting them? That something is coming out of balance. And for example, if 10 people would only give €5, so then I would be able to go through my day and to pay my things what are needed. And everybody is capable of supporting. And I'm not specifically speaking about me. It is not about me. It is an example, because yes, in my work I've also been out of balance, and of course it is mostly my own responsibility, because I've had a big struggle always by putting the money inside the exchanges, because it is still not a natural divine exchange in my world, in my feeling. I can't feel it, because even when I had the enlightenment experience, then everything was given and came to me, but not money, because it is a third-party situation. It is not directly coming from nature. The money does not grow on trees, but the fruit do. So I prefer a direct exchange between humanity, between the nature, for the things that we require to support each other at all times. And if we can do that, if we start to work together as one, like in this way, the Ìnnernet of these beautiful, amazing ancient trees will come alive. Many more things will arise and come to the surface again. Because, these trees, I was talking about the hexagon shapes, they were crystalline, they were never carbon. And so you can wonder what they were breathing. And that's what brings back to the ozone. You can think, oh, we're dying, but if you change into the crystalline, if you change into a higher form, if you're literally morphing, and of course, just as the darkness or the cabal, whatever you want to call it, always tries to mimic every process we go through, but they try to do it, of course, in a negative way, everything. And then, we have the 5D, they have the 5G, and so forth. So, if we are now having a new way of breathing within the heart space and with more ozone coming in, then they're coming with having us, our oxygen, normal oxygen constricted, now what I'm saying, and then having gases, we're breathing in their gases. And then, of course, you are seduced or induced in lack of consciousness, losing your consciousness. So, if the process is bit by bit, you don't notice it. And the same with ozone. You won't die because it is being done little by little. Of course, you are always safe and protected in these processes. But you can understand that, you can understand when these beautiful ancient trees were crystalline, right? They were entirely crystalline from within. And I've even seen it long before I understood what they were, or that they even were trees before. I also thought it was a mountain, but I have been in there and I've seen everything is crystal. And I was so much charged, and I was like out for 2 days because there's so much information that this was processed by myself in a different way, just as you can sometimes do when you have a sleep, and then the rest of your body is taking time to heal. So if they were crystalline, you can also ask yourself what they were breathing in. Probably not the carbon dioxide, right? And then this also means that we weren't breathing out carbon dioxide. That's interesting, isn't it? It's exciting. So what were we breathing out then? If you know that ozone, if it is a higher form of oxygen, and of course, if you suddenly are exposed to breathing in ozone, you die. But if your body is morphing, and if the process is going as it is divinely guided to be, and exposed every time a little bit more, and that is of course how the darkness has also always worked in a negative way, so you don't notice. That's the best trick to fool you, to trick you. And lack of consciousness, automatic pilot, your 5 senses that you mainly respond from and that are highly fooling you all the time, and they're laughing how much easy it is to fool you, to fool all of us. Now, I talked about the Parodontax toothpaste, and I'm telling you, for 17 years using these, or longer even, did not notice. I noticed that the plants were not on the tube anymore, like pictures. You just think that they changed the package. Never wondered or looked inside that these plants were actually gone. But they did not all at once took the plants out. Probably it first had a new aroma, tasted quite the same, and you have seen the ingredients many times, so you're not looking again. And you don't notice the change because, first of all, your taste even, it is guessing. A lot of the information you are getting is guessing, or automatic pilot, or a combination, of course. So when you taste something, you are guessing you're tasting the same thing that it was before, until you start to notice that your teeth don't feel clean anymore, and then you take a better look. So anyways, we need to stay alert at all times to what we actually are eating. How much of the food we used to eat are actually taken over by other companies, even with the so-called organic ones, and what is now inside. And yes, be ready to know the truth about what you have been eating, what you have been feeding, because the cabal, the dark forces, however you want to call them, probably are laughing so much because slowly they've been feeding you stuff that you cannot even call food anymore. And it's not only the manipulation of the food, the genetic manipulation or engineering, but also like you literally being started to eat plastic and silicons. It's easy to do with rice, but I mean, they even can print food. So, yes. So let's turn more and more to the organic, natural, divine, authentic creation again, directly, the experience directly with each other, instead of the third party in between, which we pay to and then expect to have something good, but nobody's checking and we give it out of hand. We constantly give our powers away. Now, coming back to this beautiful, exciting part of our record keepers playing on their records, the long players, which are not invented out of thin air, by the way. Neither are the CDs, alright? Everything is coming somewhere. And they have all been hidden in the plain sight. Definitely we lost consciousness, isn't it? So, if they were connected with our 12 helixes, then there's a connection that we lost also our 12 helixes, which are still present, but not online, not connected. So expect miracles to happen and more beautiful things to come up. But yes, also, and especially if you're not very much aware of all the negativity that have been going on, that can be quite shocking, and especially for people who have not known about it or weren't ready. So be ready to comfort them, no matter what they've done or how your relation was, or if you know them or not. Comfort the people, right? And again, your voice is greatly healing and bring in alignment the harmony, the emotional body. And you can sing along with the nature, with the frogs and the birds especially. The frogs are great for the emotional body. They really, really attune the waters and emotional bodies. But also the birds, and the birds are also very much attuning the neurological system. This is very important to understand because you will need it. And yes, divine is taken over, and yes, it's the end of the light and dark games. Many light workers and many who have been bringing forth all these truths and everything that was hidden and shine their lights on it. These pioneers are still voting for them, but it is very important to understand that there's something so much greater at work, which is in alignment, of course, with the truest of love, and which are not the created gods that constructed the physical, material bodies, but are those creator of our soul, or Father, Mother, Source Creator. I'm very sorry for strange noises from my tummy. It's quite upset because always when there's so many emotions to go through, so many things to do, so many new people, so many other people and everything sorting, this is also processed through the body and can upset the tummy and the stomach. As you know, sometimes when you're sad or angry, it can upset your stomach. But also an overflow of information can upset your stomach. So that's why I've also said limit the intake of food as much as possible to give your body a pause. And it is not beneficial if you are one that is not very good at grounding within the body to completely stop eating. Roots are very good to eat, like potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, but also all kinds of legumes, seeds, to ground in the body. Fruits bring you in a very high frequency. They're very beautiful. But to ground, it's good to have a little bit more complex, heavier foods. You could eat chickpeas, lentils, or, but try to avoid coffee, alcohol, and meat, of course. If you eat meat, you're a parasite living off the death. You're vibrating on the level of death. And we want to support life, right? We want to vibrate on the level of life, respect, freedom, joy, truth, and in harmony. All right, so once again, going back to the records, it's a long message. I'm getting tired, so this is going to be the last words for this moment, for this message about the records. If they have been playing their verse just as your LP, your long player, these beautiful vibrations, these songs, these sounds, imagine that they were playing these beautiful sounds and frequency, not only connected with our planet and within our planet, but also with the cosmos, with our galaxy, with our universe. And then what else is possible? And what would it have felt like for our bodily system? And how much information could we carry if we were all crystalline? I mean, you know how little chips they need in the computers of crystals, and they can just have so much information run through and store information. Well, our body is not a storage place, so we do not have to store information. We can access information at all times when it's needed, and then we can be free and blank again. This is the time that our cellular memory is being cleared, and all of the completed experiences, the lifetimes where we have healed also the lost fragments of soul back into the now. And again, it is very important still to do, so you can ask me, request me for a session. And yes, some money exchange, but also in other ways of support. More and more I want to step to a direct support system. To give and share what we have directly to each other. Because when you give, you also give your chi. For example, when 3 cooks make food with the exact same ingredients, every food will taste, every plate will be different, not only because one has put a little bit more salt or one has cooked something longer, but especially because of their chi, their life energy, their magnetic energy, their love energy. And we will be coming in a time that we are starting to feel how much one is present when they are in conversation with us, when they are giving us something. It becomes more and more important to really be present with the giving, with the looking in the eyes, with the attention, with the purity, the concentration, the focus. All right, this is enough for now. So you have a lot new activations, codes, and things to think about. It is a very high quality energy again. So yes, please share. And if you can support me in any ways, then please do so. Because that is how we should work together, right? All right, I'm here for you in service and in connection, and also for sessions. And if it's not possible for you to send any monies, which are all used, by the way, for helping others to prepare, making things ready, bringing in alignment, or moving to the places where it's needed at the moment, and of course, feeding the bodies at the best ways possible. And perhaps new memory card or something. Anyway, so otherwise you could support and think of support and joyful support, loving support in any other way, or ask. Because we can start to ask each other, is there anything you need? And we can start to let go proud and all the old ideas of you need to be independent, separated, cautious, refuse, reject, be polite, all those things. We can just start to be authentic, more authentic than ever before, with our emotions, with our true feelings and thoughts, without hurting, but authentic, all right? All right. Please let me know in the comments what you think about these messages, and I speak to you soon, all right? I am so curious how you think about these giants and how many of you already knew about these frequencies, and if any of these messages for you are very thrilling. For me, they are definitely are. Don't think that I know everything. Many things are coming through me, and I'm always mesmerized and bewildered about all and in awe about all these informations. Not everything I've already experienced. We live in a miraculous place, beloveds. Enjoy, help each other, and speak to you soon. Thank you for listening, and much love always. And enjoy the violet flame. Bye bye.